Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's great to see you, Barbie. I was really excited for you to sign on just now. But everybody, it's another Mavens of Manufacturing Day, and today we have Barbie the Welder. I'm really excited to have her. A huge shout out to our sponsor of today's episode, Factory Fix. And yeah, I just want to jump right into it. Barbie, how are you doing today?
If I was any better, I'd have to be two people.
Well, thank you for joining us. I know you're super busy. You have a lot going on. I follow your LinkedIn and YouTube like religiously, and I saw that you just completed a project. It's a really cool looking Phoenix type bird, and the color on it is phenomenal. But I wanted to just dive right in and get sort of a background of who Barbie the Welder is and what got you to where you are today in your journey. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you fell into welding and sculpting things out of metal?
Oh my gosh. So, thank you so very much for having me here. It's an absolute honor. I'm Barbie the Welder. I'm a full-time metal sculptor. I'm a published author of 6 books, and I'm an advocate for the skilled trades, but I definitely did not start out there. So, growing up, I had low self-esteem. I was bullied really bad and just went through a whole lot of depression and depression type activities. I went through addiction, through alcohol and drug addiction, and overcame both of those. Homelessness, self-made homelessness, but which all that stuff was self-made. But at a point in my journey where I was in my second marriage, I was unhappily married. We were living in the projects, and I was just super depressed. And happened to sit down with our neighbors one day and watch the movie Castaway starring Tom Hanks. In the beginning of this movie is this woman who is welding these giant angel wings, and the arcs and sparks of welding resonated with me like the flames and arcs and sparks of hell. And so I just started moving towards that heat and light.
That's awesome. We do have a couple people on here already saying hi. We have a LinkedIn user. If sometimes LinkedIn is crazy and they don't tell us who you are, so if you want to drop your name, hey y'all, what's going on? I love a good Phoenix, Barbie the Welder, and then we have Nikki Gonzalez from Scultping. Hey ladies, TGIF. So welding is such a great skill set, I think, and recently you were seeing more and more women get involved with it, which is really exciting. And I'm kind of curious, going through all of the stuff that you just mentioned, did you have any like main inspirations other than the movie that you just mentioned, Castaway? Because I remember that movie, and I loved how they tied everything together, and that just being able to create those angel wings out of metal was really inspiring for me as well too. But do you have any other mentors that helped you along your journey to get to where you are today, or was it strictly you just following different people and kind of learning as you go?
Oh my gosh. I stand on the shoulders of giants. We can start out by honoring my dad, who is a diesel mechanic, but also he's jack of all trades, master none kind of thing, where my dad's a problem solver, and anytime something needed to be fixed at our house, he would just figure it out. And I was blessed to be brought up by this human being who is a problem solver, and without even really saying anything, it was, Barbie, come help me do this. Barbie, come help me do that. And like, I'm the drywall lift, and like, this is me, holding up drywall. Like, come to find out, you can rent drywall lifts. It's like $25 a day. I'm like, are you kidding me? I find this out like later. So mad. Which also have really great drywall muscles. But just blessed with my dad, who never treated me different as a daughter. He didn't see me like, we didn't have gender roles. My mom taught my brother how to cook. My dad taught me how to wrench and like drywall. And my gosh, I could do plumbing, and just don't ask me to do this stuff, but electrical, plumbing. I've wired phones, like just blessed with this human being. And then moving into, I just had so many teachers, and these are people probably wouldn't call themselves teachers, but they're just incredible human beings. Many of the people I work with at Cameron Manufacturing and Design, my custom fabrication shop where I went to work to weld. My teacher at BOCES, who taught me welding to begin with, saw the passion and just totally like fanned the flames for that. I think the most beautiful thing about the trades is the fact that it's tradition to learn skills, to master, and we never get to master it, but just do as good as we possibly can. And we're always striving to do better, but then taking those skills that we learned, the love that we have for craftsmanship, and then passing that on to other people, whether they're older or younger. It's just passing it on to others. We are natural teachers, and it's just such this honorable legacy that we get to be a part of.
I think what's cool about that too is it's a sense of certain cultures, you know, like I don't know if you're familiar with that show Forge and Fire, but I got addicted to that show because it's just blacksmithing, and to be able to take something like raw material like that and develop something so like the weapons they make on there, the swords and knives and all that stuff, they're beautiful. And to be able to pass that type of skill set, and you know, they have a variety of different types of blacksmiths on there, some that have only been doing it for 2 to 4 years, and then they have their masters that have been doing it for 12 plus years. And it's just really cool to see the sweat, the literal sweat that they put into these masterpieces, and then being able to use that and be productive with it is awesome. Welding is like your main thing for creating your sculptures. So what else is it about welding? You know, you mentioned the sparks and the fire. What else is it about welding that attracted you to it so much to develop, you know, to use it as your main thing to develop your sculptures?
I needed to sculpt, and I can't explain that other than what I just said, because I'd never welded before and I never saw myself as artistic whatsoever. But seeing that moment in that movie, it just, I have no explanation. It just doesn't make sense. I just knew I needed to do that.
That's awesome. And I know that you worked with a couple companies before you decided to go out on your own. Can you give us a quick, you know, like storyline of how that was and what sort of challenges you faced? And then, you know, what was that one shining moment where you're like, I can do this. I got this. I'm going to be a successful sculptor.
I'm still not at that moment yet, woman. Calm down. Be patient. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. So in 2007, when I saw the movie, I went to BOCES, an adult education class for welding, was blessed with a teacher, and did 6 months, 104 hours in that class. And I really thought, like, I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, which also, yeah. I got hired at a custom fab shop at the assistance of my teacher. So my teacher literally was like, go work. He says, go see Kenny at Cameron Manufacturing and Design. Now, a very quick backstory is I was an auto mechanic before I was a welder. Out of high school, I went to BOCES in high school for it. I went to college for it. I worked in the industry several years and dealt with nothing but sexism. Auto mechanics was my first love, my dad being a diesel mechanic, and I was around that, and the smell of a garage for me is home. And some of y'all are going to resonate with that. I'm like tires and oil and just, oh yes, it's all.
It's such a great smell though.
It is. Y'all need to make perfume like that, because I'm telling you, you do something like that. And anyway, we'll leave that alone. A story for another day. But my teacher, like, so when I found welding, I was working for myself. I was buying parts from Pick Apart, and then I was selling them on eBay. And then I was also just buying shit at Walmart and then selling that on eBay in the dollar store. Apparently people didn't price match back then. But I was making approximately $10,000 a year, and that was to support a family of 5. So needless to say, we were on welfare and government subsidized housing. It was a mess. But also working for anyone else because of the sexism I dealt with. Like, I ended up falling out of love with the industry just because I just was so beat down. I mean, I tried several different jobs, which, you know, I know today, if you don't learn a lesson, you are going to repeat it again and again. And I just I didn't have the mental or emotional strength to deal with the sexism. Today, it would never happen to me because of who I've grown myself into. But back then, I just didn't have, I didn't have a spine. And I just didn't feel like I was worth it. And so I just moved from job to job trying to escape what I just needed to face. Um, and we can get onto this subject for a long time. But anyway, so when I found welding and I was in school for it, my teacher's like, oh, go talk to Kenny at Cameron Manufacturing and Design. And I was just like, hell no, I will never work for someone again, just because I assumed that I was going to deal with sexism.
Right.
But I also didn't know what else to do because I knew I needed to sculpt, like I need to breathe, like, right?
Yeah.
So he
For
got
purpose.
after me a couple of times to go and see Kenny, and I just wouldn't do it. And so my teacher, being probably the smartest human being on earth, went and took our class on a field trip to Cameron Manufacturing and Design. Now, when we got over there, I'd been watching on TV. I'd been watching Orange County Choppers. I've been watching Biker Build Off, Monster Garage. Like, these are my heroes. And I'd already been watching these guys for years and just never saw myself in the industry, in any of those industries, but also just was so drawn to it. And so when I got over there and we started touring, I started seeing the water jet and the just all the machines and tool, like Orange County Choppers had just got their 5-axis water jet, and they're making their own rims at that point. And I was just like, and like they had this there, and I'm like crawling in these machines and just all over it. And like, okay, now it's fine, player, you got me. And so I went and I filled out an application. I asked for, I think minimum wage at the time, I think it was $8 an hour ish. And I asked for $10 an hour, figuring I was worth about $9 and that I had some wiggle room for negotiation. And they came back with a $13 an hour offer. Now, don't let me cry live, but I'm saying, like, here I am, I'm struggling so hard. My husband wasn't working. I was depressed, but I'm following this path that I just knew in my heart. And everyone else, like, around me are like, what are you doing? Like, this is just the stupidest thing. Like, my parents, like, my husband had told me no when I said I'm going to school for welding. Like, it just, everyone was against me. And so here I am following this bat crap crazy dream that, and this company to come out, one, I had 6 months of training. I passed their welding test. I feel like barely. They just took a huge gamble on me, and I can't thank them enough. And still to this day, I'm like, I cannot thank this company enough. But I worked there for 5 years. I was blessed with the most wonderful TIG welder I think that they've probably ever had, a young lady named Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, who taught me how to TIG weld, which I'm still not like anywhere probably close to where she is. But just brilliant woman that I was blessed to be taught by. And then later on, when Cheryl moved, she went into to school to go for engineering. Yes, and then she ended up going to another company and was a leader at another company. It's amazing. But then I was moved over to a gentleman named Alva who just master fabricator, like custom fabrication. And where Cheryl specialized in TIG welding, and that was her jam, and she worked on just one project. And I, for I think a couple of years was just on that one project, which the monotony, oh my gosh, we won't get started on that. But then when I was moved over, same department, but moved over to custom fabrication is where I really got the MIG skills to really hone in my MIG skills, but also that custom fabrication, which those skills there that I was taught, like that's watching how metal moves and understanding how metal moves and understanding how to, if I need to make 100 of these parts, like how can I make it easier? And so making fixtures and jigs for that. And between those two, those were the two main ones. Now there was a ton of people at the company that showed me like little things here and there. So there's many people that have blessed me with their skills, but they were the two main ones that really just allowed me to gain the skills I need. And then after 5 years of working there, I earned my journeyman in iron plate and sheet metal. And then I quit my job to go full-time as an artist. And I just took those skills into my garage and had no friggin' clue that I was a business. I didn't know about sales or branding or marketing. I just knew I needed to make this art. And so I sat here for a while and made art and failed magnificently at being a business owner.
It's hard. It's a tough, thing to do. Like, that you want to create something, but then when you finally step over that line, there's so much in the business world that you need to know. And if you're not someone that's familiar with business, you got to kind of learn as you go. So I completely relate to that and understand that. I do want to bring up some people who are commenting. Penny Thorne, hi, big fan.
Hi, Penny.
Paul,
oh,
love watching your videos. I show them to my wife and kids too. That's awesome.
Thank you, Paul.
Damien, awesome to hear your story. Barbie the Welder fabrication is awesome.
Yes, it is.
We have Hank, good morning from me and the junior boardroom director. So Hank's really cool because he actually will set up his computer and his little girls come in and watch the interviews. So it's really cool to have a dad that will like bring his kids in and watch these interviews because they're seeing women like yourself make things with their hands and like have a really great life of it. So like I sent them Mavens of Manufacturing t-shirts, and I hope they get them soon because, it's really humbling to have the kiddos on there.
That made me cry. That made me cry. Right there, first of all, let's stop and just say bravo to parenting done right. Like,
right, yeah.
Thank you for that. It's my dad that was, the biggest influence growing up, the creativity and the fact that I was just, this human being is, I was so shocked when I went into automotive and dealt with the sexism because I didn't even understand what was going on. I'm like, why is this even a thing? And so it just was so different for me because it's just not my vibe. And so I'm seeing more and more and more parents doing this that are just honoring their children and showing them all different kinds of things that allow them. My dad just walked in. Hi, Dad. We're talking about you.
Uh-oh.
We're on
hi.
live.
You can come say hi if you want.
You want to come say hi? We're live. We're talking to the Mavens of Manufacturing.
Hello.
This is my
hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I personally, she's busy.
No, you're fine. I personally just want to thank you because without your influence on her, she wouldn't be where she is today, making some of the crazy things that she's making. I keep telling her when I can afford it, I'm going to buy one of her sculptures because they're absolutely one of my favorite pieces of artwork. So thank you for, influencing her the right way and, helping her not give up on her talent because she's got an amazing talent.
Thank you for that. She's quite the artist, but she got it from both her mother and me.
That's awesome. So, well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm just glad she keeps working because I'm retired and I'm going to need it later on.
That's fair.
Well played, right?
I just come to see your thing, but
yeah, it's hidden.
That's awesome.
You see that?
That's nice. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go.
Love you.
Nice meeting you.
No, he went to work today.
Take his bike?
Yes, he did all by himself. I'm so excited.
All right, I'll see you later.
I'll call you in a little bit.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This is why I like doing
what I'm doing. It's just such an honor. He's so embarrassed. I've had him turn tail and run so many times. That is the first time because he shows up at whenever because I'm working on a sculpture for the High Seas Rally and he's excited about it, so he wanted to come and see.
That's awesome. Well, you talked about a lot of challenges, including like sexism and, not seeing other women or seeing yourself in where you're at. And, a lot of women still today, either avoid this sector as a whole because, they think that they're going to get, comments made towards them, or they don't think anybody believes in them. So any woman that's looking to like join this sector, it is getting better. Like there's a lot more women in this sector than there was back in 2008 when I first entered into the sector. And I feel like there's less tolerance for comments that make us feel uncomfortable, which is great because, men like your dad who advocate for us is a huge help as well too. So any woman that wants to get into welding specifically, what sort of advice would you give them? And if they want to start their own thing, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh. It's an incredible industry. It's empowering And I think that's like, that was probably, I got into it because I needed to make the art, but I've grown self-esteem and I've grown self-worth over it. Like, just, it has blessed my life. I've like literally like zero depression. And that's, you know, over time. And I didn't realize that was going to happen or expect it or set out to do it. But literally, like, I was depressed all my life up until 15 years, which it took a little while, you know, into it. But welding builds people. And it's just, I love everybody. I encourage everybody to go into the welding industry that's interested in working with their hands and just has that, you know, has the desire to. It builds people. Like, we build things, and the things that we build us. And so it's just such a, you know, it's powerful and it's limitless with what you can do or make. It's such an amazing industry. And there is such an incredible community of welders, whether it's the women welders, it's just like, or, you know, or just the welding community in general, like going to places like FabTech and having that community around you and seeing how close the industry is. Craftsmanship respects craftsmanship. And this goes back to what we were talking about before about the legacy of, you know, learning, you know, getting good at, and then sharing your skills. And you could be like literally day one into learn something and share something that you've learned with someone that's been welding for 30 years, and they will gain knowledge from that. It works all the way around. So like the community of the welding industry for me is just, it's so special. It's so powerful. And it's such a, it's just so many amazing human beings, and everyone's in there raising each other up. Like, craftsmanship is just it's just a special arena to play in. I wish I had better words to describe just how amazing. It's the skilled trades in general. I've watched it through, you know, I follow women who are truck drivers. I follow, you know, human beings that are truck drivers, and just my line workers, oh my gosh, like the electricians. I follow many different craftsmen, and seeing the, you know, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the community within it. You know, craftsmanship honors and respects craftsmanship. They see you out there working hard, or they see you out there wanting to learn, and they're so encouraging. It's just, I couldn't ask for anything better.
That's so true. And I like the passion that you see within everybody that's involved with the trades. That's the one thing that I've noticed across the disciplines, that anytime you're making something with your hands, there's a sense of pride in it, and there's so much passion into it, because it's something you can pass down from generation to generation, and it takes a certain skill set to be a master at it. And who knows if anyone ever fully masters a skilled trade, but the amazing things that people are able to create, and, you know, your artwork demonstrates that skill set, because all of your pieces are unique, and the attention to detail, it shows. You can literally feel, well, in my personal opinion, you can literally feel the sweat and blood and tears that you put into each piece. And that's why I like your artwork so much. We have Shannon. I love this company took a chance on you. Your story is inspiring. Thank you. Nikki, great teachers can make all the difference. Gail's juggling a lot, so she's going to add this on a replay list. Paul is, this is such all feel good gold. Absolutely. Hank put Barbie, Peyton, and Aiden love your work in the background. Now they want me to pull out the welder from the garage and try it. Yes.
Use all the safety gear, but Peyton and Aiden, go for it. I'm so excited for you. Like, just the awesome memories that I have with my dad, that we built those, like, we built things and we also built memories. My dad's my best friend, and throughout the years, like, our relationship is just, you know, grown and grown. If I have a problem, he'll be right in here trying to fix stuff, and, you know, trying to still, like, teaches me stuff. And that's like, awesome. These are memories for a lifetime. We have no idea how long we're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having those moments.
And then David Vasquez, I'm here because I have daughters. I'm a believer in representation and love showing my girls other women doing amazing things. Even though I have no clue about welding, I'd let my girls burn and shed or two if it gets them into a journey where they can make things with their hands and helps them spell. I don't even know how to say that word.
Acetylene, and I still don't know how to spell it. So the fact that you spell that, bravo. That's, again, parenting done right. It's so encouraging to see. these young men and women coming up, and there's a lot more people, and this is like social media has blessed our industry more than I could ever say, because you've got people out there that are doing the work and then showing it. And we're getting a lot of kids, like a lot of kids with their parents are, you know, and please use all the safety gear. Just use extra safety. Keep these kids safe, because if they get hurt, they're not going to want to come back. And obviously if they get hurt, they get hurt. But
Yeah.
using that safety gear, like other people are seeing it online and they're like, oh, no kidding. I never thought to show my kid. Now, because I was raised the way I was raised, when my son hit 5 years old, I taught him to TIG weld. He was in my shop, which when I went full time, I got a little bit more time with him, which I think he was about 8 by the time I got this garage that has a house attached to it. But I've been told, I haven't seen it. But I taught him to TIG weld, and like 11 years old, by the time he hit 11, he was making his own, like designing his own metal art projects and then selling them at the shows I was going to. These kids are capable. The earlier we introduce them safely to these industries. And listen, and it's not for everybody, just the same way college isn't for everybody. It's good for some people. The trades are good for some people. But you get to build skills that, like, maybe your kid, learns to weld, but later on they go on to be a lawyer. There are things that they will learn in the shop with you, not only the memories, but these skills that they could take, into other areas, and they'll do something, and something will flip a switch, and they're like, oh, I had this problem when I was welding, and I was able to figure it out by this and this. And then wildly, it's just, all the things that we do, it stacks up and it adds into this just amazing recipe of who we become.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, they mentioned the artwork behind you, which is completely awesome, by the way, too. I'm a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan, and I love how that's holding all of your tools. What have been some of your favorite pieces that you've created, and why?
Oh, so hard to all of them, but also all of them because they've led me to today. This is the part where I cry again. Oh my gosh, which is fine. So Davy Jones is one of my all-time favorites because of the level of accuracy that I was able to obtain creating him. And functional art makes my heart so happy. I love art you can monkey with. So most people are like, oh, don't touch it. And I'm just like, yes, use the heck out of that. But with Davy Jones, it was a well-known character. Like, I can make characters all day long, and I love making characters that don't exist. I love creating characters. That's a very, I'm going to say easy. It's not easy, but it's a very easy thing to do because I make the character. You don't know what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And so you have nothing to judge it against as far as like whether it's good or not. When you start monkeying with a very well-known character, if he's not on point, everybody knows that your skill set's not where you want it to be. And so for me to be able to replicate him in what I feel is just like perfection, for like my level of perfection, I'm over the moon with this one. 2 other sculptures that really just, which now the Phoenix is, so 3 other sculptures. My sad angel I made, she's 5 foot tall. It was the first true like sculpture I made. Like for a long time I was just tacking stuff together. And listen, this is art as well. But my physical first sculpture, which I actually have her, I don't know if you can see it, she's tattooed on my arm. This sad angel, she's at a local funeral home. The gentleman that commissioned me for that took a humongous chance. It was scarier beyond anything, beyond belief to quote that, because I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But also I'm like, I feel like I can do this. And I told him I could, and he came to me and asked me if I could. And I came up with a design, and then just, my gosh. And so I visit her a lot, and she's very, very, very special to me. I'm just madly in love with her. I made her, she's at a funeral home, but I made her thinking about the loss of my grandma, who was the most influential person in my life other than, my mom and dad growing up. And so, when you say blood, sweat, and tears, like when I sculpt, it's everything I do has a purpose. And so there is a feeling that I sculpt into it, a feeling I sculpt with, and I feel that ends up translating like really well. The tradesman sculpture that I still have yet to unveil and literally just posted. Calm down, girl. So excited. Just posted a video this morning of him. Sorry. The tradesman's a 6 foot tall sculpture that represents skilled tradesmen. People from all across the country sent in tools that belonged to them or people that was very special to them, including a scribe that was from my dad that I was honored to be able to sculpt into his arm. These pieces represent people's blood, sweat, and tears. I can't speak for anyone else, but I could tell you how damn much my tools mean to me, how much love goes into them. You know, just the hammer. Like, this is the time I burnt it. This is, it just like, I have created so much with these tools. They are a part of me. They're an extension of my mind, extension of my hands. And so to ask people to trust me, to weld it into something, to weld something very special and personal to them into something that, it meant the world to me to have that level of trust with people. This, I've got, I think, 9 different trades are represented in this sculpture. So long story longer, I was commissioned by Rock the Trades to create it. Rock the Trades went to work with Stanley Black & Decker in the background. And then Stanley Black & Decker bought Rock the Trades. And so now it's because of that transition. Now Stanley Black & Decker is working on how to unveil it, how to showcase it, where it's going to go. So now they have like this, they bought this project that they have to make sure that as they're working with it, that it is, because it's completely done and it's been done since December. And all these people are waiting to see it and I'm waiting to show it and haven't been able to. But this is me being patient.
Come on, let's do it. Yeah. You created I think you created a video of that where you were trying to lift it up before it was done. And
yes,
I was laughing so hard. I was like, come on, get it. You got it. But yeah, that's another reason why I love your content so much, because it's you. It's what you put in it, and you don't have any edits or anything. Well, if you do have edits, you can't tell, but it's just you showing yourself and all the hard work you put into each piece. And it's fun to watch because it's a big piece, and you trying to lift it up. I was just like, we need to get some
704 pounds. He's 704 pounds. So he wasn't at the time. He was a little bit less than that. But once I, like, with all the tools on him, because I put tools on the base as well as integrated in there. He's over at American Manufacturing Design. He got weighed and fitted for a crate over there. I had them, they just blessed me with that. Blessed us all with that. But yeah, they weighed him. They're like, do you know how much he weighs? And my guess was like 450, and I was just way off. So yeah, one welder was hurt in the making of that video. I gummed up my knee and limped around for about 10 days.
Well, I can't wait for the reveal. I can't wait for the reveal. It's going to be awesome. Karen made a comment too. She's like, I literally drool when I see the beauty you create with hard, cold material through the purification process of extremes, heat and pressure. As much as I love Davy Jones, the trade sculpture is my favorite because of the process it went through and the components that make it. That's such a thought. Thank you, Karen. That's a really great comment. I like those thoughtful comments.
I need her to write for me for my post. You're very eloquent in how you speak, and I love that. And
right.
For an author, I struggle for words sometimes to express. Just to express. We'll just leave it at that, because I do. I'm like, I feel like I just want to hug the world. Like that, I think explains how I feel about a lot of things.
So before I let you go, I have a couple of other questions. One, what are you working on today? Because I know that you're an author and you've written a lot of books. So what can we expect to see from Barbie the Welder over the next couple of months?
Thank you for asking. So I'm working on several projects, but the main one, and I'm so excited about everything. I don't monkey with anything that I'm not madly in love with. Just know that when you see me working on something, I've said no to 99 other things, because this is a thing that just brings me joy. So I have written 4 children's books that honor and showcase the skilled trades and tradesmen and working with your hands and like that love. I am currently working to format these 4 books, and I believe I have found an illustrator who I'm really excited to work with. I've got to format the books and decide how many pictures to put in each one, but those should. My mission, my passion-driven mission, is to have them out by Black Friday, and
Yes.
I definitely plan on giving many, many, many away because just yes, I love to be able to give like that, and it's just for me, it's just. I gave 200 copies of my last book away. I shipped it all over the world just to yes. And so I'm hoping to do at least that with these, which yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
I'll definitely
go
be
for it.
purchasing those.
Thank you. I'm super stoked. I've actually partnered with the Safety Justice League, who we found each other through LinkedIn. I don't know if they found me or I found them, but they're safety-based group that I've got them reviewing the books for safety, and it's going to get the Safety Justice League stamp of approval when they're done. And I couldn't be more honored to have that, because just because I think something's safe doesn't. I want an outside opinion to make sure that I know I'm honoring the skilled trades with these books. It's like that was the number one mission with that, is to honor and showcase the tradesmen. But the safety aspect, because I've got these kids working. I've got them welding. I've got they showcase welding, electrical, carpentry, and automotive. And so those four industries are represented to start off with. I definitely plan on playing and giving these kids more adventures to go on. So that's just I cannot be more excited about that project. I'm also
Hank's already asking. Sorry to interrupt you. He's like, books that pique the interest of my girls. Where do we get them?
They will be available on Amazon. So I have an Amazon author page that you could just go search Barbie the Welder author, I believe, or just you can go in to find any of my books on Amazon. And then if you want signed copies, and Hank, I'll be sending y'all copies for you and the girls. So don't worry about buying them. I got you covered. Stay in contact. Email me, barbiethewelder@gmail.com. But just follow me, and then when you see that they come out, message me, and I will send you guys a copy. I will send you. And if you guys want 2 copies, so the girls each have their own set, just let me know. I got you covered. So
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate you. Next project is I got a lot going on. So I am going to move. I've been working in a 1-car garage, so everything you guys are seeing, and my favorite thing, people come over, I've had people from all over the United States come and visit my shop. It is literally a 1-car garage, 276 square foot of working space. I still live 15 minutes from where I was born. I've lived here all my life. I'm ready to spread my wings and fly. And so I've chosen Daytona Beach, Florida for the place I'm going to land.
Nice.
Car culture, bike culture, bike week. I'm a huge, I don't want to say motorcycle fanatic, but it is one of my greatest joys is to ride motorcycle. I've got a custom Harley that I bought a couple years ago from a friend. And so being around Bike Week and Biketoberfest and all that car culture down there, and being able to ride every day and coffee on the beach, sign me up.
Yeah.
But I'm still looking for a shop. So if you guys know people in Daytona, I've gone through 2 realtors so far that have not been able to help me. I'm looking to rent for a year, just 100% make sure that I love it. But I need an industrial location where I can weld, make art. My number one thing would be an old car dealership, so I can have a showroom and a shop to weld in. And I probably may or may not be able to afford it, but also that's what I really, 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 really want. So I can have more people come in, and I want to be able to I want to bring people into my world. I want to show it.
Oops.
Sorry about that. I had a call come through. So sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm putting my house up for sale in September, even though I don't have a place to go to. And September 1st, I'm just going to roll down to Daytona, and I'm going to go find my own dang shop down there. But before
Awesome.
but wait, there's more. I'm heading out to Sturgis on, I think, probably Monday. And I'm going to be out at Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. So if y'all want to come hang out, you can come hang out with me there. I'll be hanging out with Full Throttle Saloon and Pat B. Hoyle Campground. And there's so many bike shows. I am
It's a great time.
Next year going to go and build a motorcycle frame up. I've been dreaming about this since Biker Build Off, but also have not had the skills or the knowledge or anything. And just like I grew up in the gas tank of my dad's bike before, and you judge him if you want. I'm not judging him, but I wasn't old enough to hold on back, and so he put me on the gas tank and we'd go for rides. Just it's been my family. My brother rides. My brother's nickname is Wrench. Like he's the smartest person on motorcycles I've ever met. But I want to build a bike. I want custom, and it's just such an amazing industry. Like again, another family.
Yeah.
The bike industry is just a beautiful family, and I'm digging in like a tick, girl.
That's so exciting. I love riding. I used to have Kawasaki Ninja. I wanted to work my way up to a Harley, but now I have 2 extra kids, so I gotta wait a little longer to get that. But
Car.
it's so right, but it's so freeing, and for you to be able to go even to Daytona Beach to start, a chapter there. I feel like you're gonna get so much inspiration. I was just in Florida not too long ago, and I already missed the palm trees and the nice weather. Like, I think you're going to come up with some even more amazing ideas to sculpture. You already said some things about, what you could ask our audience for. So in terms of helping you find an industrial space to set up shop in Daytona Beach, is there any other main ask of our audience that you want to get across to them before I let you go for the weekend?
Oh my gosh. One, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for the people that are following my content, for liking and sharing and commenting on stuff, and just bringing sharing it with your friends. It is the greatest honor to be able to do what I do. And I could not be more grateful that, like, I'm in this little tiny town. I'm working out of my garage. It's so stunning to me. I go live, I'll do live streams, and like people from all over the world are, hi Barbie. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am for that. This is just such a crazy journey. Just such a crazy journey. I just needed to make art. And what has happened and transpired since then is just so humbling and just so grateful for everything. So, please help me, just continue, just the share, the comment. It's just like the biggest thing that you can do. If you like what I'm doing, no pressure. If you don't like it, please just keep scrolling. Or if you hate it, please also make a comment because it helps the algorithms. I love haters. Which they've all disappeared. I had them for a while. It's just such an odd journey. It's such an odd journey. When I start out, no one knows who you are, so no one comments, and you get going, and people are like, oh, you just got that because you're a girl, and you get the haters, and that's a funny looking kitchen that you're welding.
Yeah, but you know what? I think when you just keep doing what you're doing and you keep proving people wrong, eventually they just fall off. So I
can't argue with that, and that's like you said, you keep your head down, you keep your nose to the grindstone, you do the work that makes your heart happy, and the world will eventually, if you're showing it online, will beat a path to your door.
Right. Well, before I let everybody go, I just, again, I want to thank you, Barbie, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate the flexibility that you had today because there was a miscommunication on my part about the time. So I appreciate you reaching out and saying, hey, I can't do it that time. And then we're able to do it this early in the morning. I also want to say thank you again to our featured sponsor, Factory Fix. They help with recruiting, so make sure you check out their website. If you want to learn more about Barbie, she is available on LinkedIn, also on YouTube. She's got a bunch of channels that you can follow. Please follow her and look her up because her content is amazing and her sculptures are even more amazing. And I'm going to buy one of these days when I make it big. I'm purchasing one from your website because they're just awesome and I love them. Also, too, there's going to be 2 expos to consider joining in August. First one is the Advanced Manufacturing Expo in Grand Rapids, Michigan from August 11th to August 12th. I'll be speaking on a panel with Emily Wilkins, Haley from IQ Manufacturing, Lauren from Motor City Spindle, and Danielle Schneider. I hope I pronounced her last name right. She's from the WIM organization, as well as doing a presentation on how manufacturers can use their brand stories to be more proactive in attracting recruiting and retaining the next generation workforce. Definitely we'll probably be sharing some of your stories, Barbie, for that presentation, because I think it's important for girls like Hank's girls to watch this and be inspired and now want your books and learn more about welding. The second one is the More Than Manufacturing Expo, August 30th through 31st. That will be in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'll also be speaking on the panel with Andrew Crow, Jay Stahl, and Jay Call will be moderating that conversation. So again, I want to thank you personally for coming on, and everyone who joined us today. I hope you learned a lot from Barbie. You're just one badass chick. Like I like you.
Oh,
like
so
I just love.
Let me know about that second event. I would be really interested in coming out to that if that's something that I could get my wiggle my way into the door. I love any kind of expo like that, and there's a lot of them that I have no clue that even exist. My time on social media, I post, I respond to as many people as possible, and I'm back in the shop. So any kind of stuff like that, like, would just love to be able to come and just be around more people in the industry. It makes my heart really happy.
Yeah, let me, I'll send you an email introduction to both the organizers for both of those shows, and then I'll send you a link too so you can check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate you. You're an absolute
You're welcome.
star.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
We know hiring quality manufacturing talent isn't always easy and that there can be a lot of moving parts. That's why Factory Fix is introducing a powerful new tool, Talent Text.